Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to WashU Family Feud, Healthy Living with Dr. Matthew Bonzelet. We're going to ask that you please use the Q&A button at the bottom of the screen to submit any questions, which we will try to get to at the end. When the webinar ends, your web browser will prompt you to complete a short evaluation survey. At the end of the Take Care series, we will be drawing about 25 winners for a $15 Visa gift card from those completed surveys. With that, I'll go ahead and hand things over to Dr. Bonzelet.
Hello, and thanks for joining me today. We're going to do some hopefully learning about trying to be healthy. That's what we all want, right? Is to be healthier. And we're going to try to do it in a fun format with some game show style with Family Feud. And of course, if you're familiar with Family Feud, one of the most important parts is the contestants. And so we need to start with that and getting some good contestants. So we may see some familiar faces here. The Square Pants family here looks like Bob, Pat, Squid, Crab, and Gary. So they look like a fun group. Let's see what they can help us figure out about healthy living. So to start with, we asked healthcare providers what are the most important things for a good night's sleep, and then rank the responses. And we're going to see if they can come up with what these responses should be. All right, so we got our board in place. Looks like 7 answers there to come up with. And contestant number 1, we got SpongeBob here. Let's see what he comes up with for a good night's sleep. And he said, hey, get plenty of it. Getting plenty of it. That sounds like a good response to me. Let's see what the survey says about getting plenty of it. So getting enough sleep. Okay, getting enough sleep makes sense to feel rested from sleep. Getting enough sleep. Okay, good. So off to a good start. All right, so we got Patrick here. Patrick has to see what else he can come up with for getting good night's sleep. And Patrick says, I always brush my teeth, then pick out my clothes, sing songs, and go to bed. That seems like a good bedtime to me. Let's see what the survey says about that. Having a bedtime routine. Okay, so maybe not exactly things he's doing, but having a routine to go to bed is good for a good night's sleep. All right. He's excited. Good. We like positive vibes here. Okay, let's see if we can keep it going here. We got Squidward. So Squidward, what did he come up with for good night's sleep? Always read in bed. Okay, we all know people who love reading in bed. Let's see what the survey says about reading in bed. Reading in bed. Okay, not on the board there. So not good with this response here. So there's an X there, a strike against them. They got 2 right answers. Got some work to do here. Let's see if Crab can get him back on track. So what did he come up with for a good night's sleep? I always take my special sleeping pills. Okay, we all heard that too. Let's see what the survey says about sleeping pills. Okay, all right. 2 in a row. 2 strikes. They're getting worried. Square Pants team is getting worried. Let's see if they can get back on track here with Gary. I always skip my afternoon coffee when I need a good night's sleep. Okay, that seems like a good one. Survey says, okay, avoiding caffeine. All right, so they got another one on the board here. All right. Let's see if SpongeBob can keep it going now. So what did he say now for the second time around? Getting harder. I always go to bed at 9 o'clock. Okay. Survey says bedtime, having a bedtime. Okay, that's the most important part of it. Great. So back on track here. Oh, there we go. Feeling better. Getting excited. All right, Patrick, what does he have the second time around? My uncle always says he sleeps bad if he drinks too much. Okay, that seems like good advice. Survey says alcohol, avoiding alcohol can be good for a good night's sleep. Okay. All right, they're on a roll here. All right, let's see what Squidward has this time around. All right, so he's got something up his sleeve here. It looks like I make sure I'm good and relaxed before getting in the bed. That sounds reasonable. Survey says relaxing routine out of bed. Great. Okay, they've got a few more getting close. They are getting close. All right, so Let's see if 2 strikes, the last one on the board. Let's see if Crab can get it. I like to wear myself out to sleep better. Okay, all right. Survey says exercise. Okay, there we go. I was a little worried there for a while, but Square Pants team came back and got it. So sleep hygiene, this is the term we use for getting good night's sleep, good night rest. And the things that I want to point out, highlight there are be consistent, have a routine. Your body likes routines. Have a bedtime, trying to go to bed same time you can most nights. That's work nights and also not work nights. Bedroom, keeping it dark, keeping it quiet. One thing that not everybody does well is the bed is for sleeping. You don't need to watch TV or read in bed. You can do those things to relax, but do them outside of bed. Have the bed, getting into bed, be a physical stimulus for sleep. If you're laying in bed trying to sleep and not able to, get out of bed and go do those restful routines out of bed and get back in when you're ready to sleep. Caffeine, we all know caffeine can wake us up. That's why a lot of us like it. Avoiding that more specifically later in the day, in the evening, can help with falling asleep better. Late in the day, caffeine can keep you up longer. Alcohol, some people lean on that to help them get to sleep, but it impairs the quality of sleep. So minimizing, avoiding alcohol will help your sleep quality. So steering clear of that. And exercise. We all know that being physically active, wearing ourselves out physically, helps us get to sleep and to sleep better. So be active, move. And then the other little nugget I wanted to share is, we don't generally get enough sleep. 35.2% of Americans get less than 7 hours of sleep. Most of us need more than that. That's 70 million adults. Not getting enough sleep can lead to workplace accidents, motor vehicle accidents, mental health issues, blood pressure problems, weight. You actually eat less healthy, eat more calories, and actually can lead to memory and thinking issues long term. So sleep is important. Getting enough of it is key. So hopefully these are some things you can implement in your life to improve your sleep, because it is important. Okay, well, next we need another group of contestants here. So we have the mystery team. All right, they look like a fun bunch here. This looks exciting. All right, let's see what questions they need to answer for us. So we asked healthcare providers the most important part of exercising for health and tallied their responses. Okay. All right, so we got six responses they need to come up with here. Let's see what they're able to come up with. All right, so let's start here. We got Fred. Fred says, I like to work out every day. That seems like a good response here. That's got to do something right. Survey says, do it regularly. All right, right at the top there. That's a good one. Okay, let's see. Velma next. Let's see what she says. Do something you love. Who can argue with that? Survey said, look at that. Do something you like, something you love. That's a good way to want to do it consistently. All right, we got Scooby. Who knows where this is going? All right, I always plan to exercise after I read. Okay, so I think he's saying he exercises after he eats. Oh, okay, all right, that's seems reasonable. Let's see what the survey says to this. So have a plan. Okay, his plan is to do it after eating. That's how he stays with it. That works. Good. That's a little lenient, I think, by the judges, but we'll give it to him, I guess. All right, Shaggy. I always run to the dinner table. Okay, running, dinner table, not sure how that fits in. Survey says, run. Okay, strike one for the mystery team. All right, let's see if Daphne can get him back on track. I like to change things up each day. That seems reasonable. Survey says, varying your exercise type. Okay, good. Yeah, that's one that can be good. All right, back to Fred. All right, harder the second time around. Let's see what he says. I like working up a sweat, pushing myself. All right, so I guess working out hard. Let's see. Survey says, doing it with intensity. Okay, good. No, they're cruising right along here. Let's see. And Velma, I always do my 30-minute exercise class. Okay, so a class specifically. Survey says 30 plus minutes a day. Wow, they cruised right through there. They did well. That was almost too easy, it looked like. All right, I wanted to share some of these, I guess, gifts, memes on this. I thought these were hysterical, and a lot of us can relate to some of these. So movement, exercise. That top left one, exercise. I thought you said extra fries. That made me chuckle. The bottom left corner one, when you smash arm day so bad you can't even wash your hair. You got Tyrannosaurus Rex, tiny arms with soap on his head. The puppy in the middle. I really wanted to work out today, but my body said no. The upper right, when your gym buddy wants to work out and you just don't, and they're pulling them across the floor. Bottom right, put me in a home and I'll put you in the ground. I thought those were clever, funny memes about activity and exercise. A couple more on this page here. So Dwayne The Rock Johnson, how I feel after I leave the gym. Who doesn't want to feel like Dwayne The Rock Johnson? And those enthusiastic, energetic little guys, they're underneath him. I thought those were good pictures to show what we want with activity and that we want to feel with it. With activity, exercise, movement, the most important thing is doing something. A lot of us get caught up in the busyness of daytime, the minutes, the hours, home life, work life, and it just is too hard to fit this in. Plan for busy days, plan for something small, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 12 minutes, 15 minutes. Plan for the days you can at least get something in. And then on less busy days, hopefully you can add to that. You can do it twice. You can do it extra long, add minutes to the backside. But plan for the busy days. Do something most days. Plan for those hard days. Intensity does matter. Doing something is most important. But if you're doing something, getting at least little parts that are hard, that are intense, that are strenuous. A lot of us know about those 10,000 steps a day that the American College of Cardiologists, American Heart Association recommends for people. They added to that and said, hey, breathlessness, making it hard enough that you can't carry on a leisurely conversation, that you're huffing and puffing a little bit. And the best part about this is 30 minutes total, not continuous, 30 minutes total. So 2 minutes here, 5 minutes there, 7 minutes, 12 minutes, 3 minutes, 5, 7, adding up to 30. So sprinkling this throughout your day when you have the time is the best way to do that. Varying your activity, doing the same thing over and over, creates muscle memory. It makes it easier. You actually burn less calories by doing the same thing. And also you might just strengthen the same muscle group by always rowing or always running. Whereas if you're switching it up to different things, you're keeping the whole body strong and you're avoiding that sort of muscle memory easiness of the activity. So switch it up when you can. Linking your routine with something you like to do can add enjoyment. So if you're somebody that said, I don't like exercise, I never have, I don't want to do it, no thanks, no how, linking it with a podcast or a show you like, or doing with friends, or something else you want to do, something else you seek out, can add to that enjoyment. It can make it something you want to do. Another thing I want to add to throw in here is we've kind of emphasized cardiovascular fitness and running and getting that heart rate up. And yes, that's important, but we're seeing more and more health benefits to resistance training, weightlifting, and we're not talking about big bodybuilders, but getting some strength, getting some muscle mass is also good for lots of other things. So if that's something you enjoy doing, don't shy away from it. Sprinkling that in can be even more helpful than just the cardiovascular aspect. So move. These tips and tricks, I think, can make a big difference for many people out there struggling to get going. All right. So next we need another group of contestants here. The last one really set the bar high. Let's see what our next group can do. All right, so some more familiar faces here. The Jetsons. We got George, Jane, Judy, Elroy, and Astro. All right, let's see what they have to come up with. We asked healthcare providers what are the most important things for good mental health and ranked their responses. Okay. All right. Only 5 responses they need to come up this time. So hopefully a little easier for them here. All right, let's see. And we're gonna start with George. We're going left to right here across the board. I always look to my family when I'm feeling down. That seems like a good thing to do. Survey says. Good support system. Yeah, that seems like a great starting point. All right. I guess he's more surprised than I am, but all right. The Jetsons, let's go next. Jane, beauty rest always makes me feel better. Yeah, okay, yeah, that sounds good. Survey says Sleep. Okay, getting enough sleep. That makes sense for mental health. We know that's related. Beaming with that. All right, great. All right, the Jetsons here. We got Judy. I like to go for a walk to the mall or spend some time with friends. That seems like a good thing. Certainly, we all might find that enjoyable. Survey says healthy outlets for stress. Yeah, those seem like healthy things to do, and it's a way to distract yourself. Okay, so cruising right along. This seems too easy. All right, we got Elroy next. I sometimes will just yell and scream and stay in my room. Okay, it's a different sort of approach there. Looks like Steve Harvey doesn't think that's a good response. Let's see what the survey says here. So yeah, outbursts and isolate. No, that's not what we're looking for good mental health. So all right, they got a strike. Jets has got a strike here. 2 more responses to go. Let's see if Astro can get him back on track here. So Astro says, I like to chase my ball around, play tug of war. Okay. Survey says exercise. Right. Yes, that's good for mental health. Something we kind of talked about earlier. Good. All right. So we got one left. Back to George. Harder. I sometimes feel better betting on the local games. The thrill can bring me around. I don't know that that's what we're looking for. I think that's Steve Harvey says it all right there. I don't know that that's what we're looking for. Survey says, no, I don't think that's a healthy outlet for stress relief. So, all right, we got one left, but 2 strikes now, getting a little tight here. Let's see if Jane can get this last one for him. Whipping together my favorite healthy snack tends to give me a boost. That sounds great. Survey says healthy diet. Yeah, it seems like a good one there. Okay. All right. So the Jetsons ended up coming through with that one. Pretty easy in the end. So mental health. I want to start with the kind of meme there at the top. I thought this was clever. I wanted to share it. Don't worry about mental illness. It's just in your head. Okay, well, don't worry about drowning. It's just in your chest. Mental health is as important as physical health, and sometimes we don't do enough for it. So take care of your mental health. Take care of your mental health. Support systems, whether friends, families, coworkers, having that outlet of someone to talk to talk things through with, to cry, yell, scream, to work things out with, it's extremely important. And sometimes our support system changes. Sometimes it is a friend and it becomes a coworker later on. But having those people to lean on is important. Healthy outlets. So it doesn't just have to be a support system. Things that you do, whether that is exercise or listening to music or playing music, going places, but having things that you enjoy doing, putting that as part of your normal routine. Don't wait till you feel you're overly stressed out to do these healthy outlets. Have them built into the routine, things you do preemptively to avoid feeling overwhelmed and stressed out. And then I wanted to emphasize just lifestyle stuff and things that probably are known, but maybe taken for granted a little bit. It's just lifestyle things. These things matter. And we actually have some pretty good studies going back, looking and collecting data about how these things can impact anxiety and depression. Things like diet, sleep, exercise, and minimizing avoiding drugs. And diet, interestingly, one of the diets best studied for this was the Mediterranean diet. And they had good studies looking at how closely you followed this diet was related to how much better you felt health-wise with healthy eating. And it did other things like actually increased productivity at home and at work and decreased cost to you from seeking out healthcare needs and stuff. So diet is really impactful. Sleep and mental health are tricky because being anxious or depressed can affect sleep, but not getting good sleep can cause anxiety and depression. And so it can create a vicious circle. And, not getting enough sleep, not having quality sleep, not sleeping long enough, going to bed at a reasonable time, and putting effort into sleep, like we talked about earlier, aside from pharmaceuticals, aside from medications, can improve depression, can improve mental health. So if you're in that vicious cycle, working on sleep can improve mental health. Exercise. Not a surprise exercise plays a role here, but things about it that are interesting. Intensity. Actually, the harder you exercise seems to help more with mental health. And again, weight training comes back in. So weight training kind of gives you that self-esteem boost a little bit more than just cardiovascular fitness. And so those two things, making sure it is strenuous, you're active, and weight training can do the most for exercise. And we know that alcohol is a depressant and nicotine is a stimulant, so they can make anxiety and depression worse. Other drugs and alcohols, drugs can of course also do the same thing. So avoiding these, minimizing, stopping these things are good for mental health. So think of these things to keep your mental health good. All right, we need another group of contestants. We're flying right through this. All right, so next. All right, Flintstones, real familiar faces here. And again, look like a fun group. I think we're gonna have some fun with them. So, all right, let's see what Fred, Wilma, Barney, Betty, and Dino can do with. We asked primary care health providers what were the most important ways to avoid getting common colds and telling their responses. All right, and 6 responses we're looking for from them. All right, let's start. We're gonna go with Fred first. Okay, Fred says, Wilma always tells me to wash my hands. Yeah, that's great advice. Survey says, wash your hands. Okay, that's a low-hanging fruit there. All right, good way to start strong. Okay, Wilma, let's see what Wilma says. I always get my vaccinations when I can to avoid getting sick. Yeah, that sounds like a good doctor response. Survey says, stay up to date with immunizations. Yep, again, low-hanging fruit. Okay, let's see what Barney says. Barney says, Betty tells me to stay away from Fred when he's sick, even if he denies it. I think that's good advice. Yes. Survey says, yeah, avoid sick contacts is important for sure. All right, Betty. I always dress warm to avoid the cold. Well, that's the cold we're looking for. Survey says dress warm. No. Okay. All right. We got a strike. Strike 1 for the Flintstones. Okay. Let's see if Dino can get it back on track. I always lie around and get plenty of sleep to avoid getting sick. That's sounds good. Survey says getting enough sleep. Okay. All right. So 4, only 1 strike. So they're doing well. All right. We got back to Fred. I like to take my Flintstone vitamins to avoid getting sick. I bet he does. I bet he does. And Steve thinks that's pretty good. All right. Survey says vitamins. No, not necessarily. Not necessarily. Okay. Oh, and don't mess with Fred. He's not happy about that. Get out of here, he says. All right. So 2 strikes for the Flintstones. Got two more answers we're seeking here. Let's see if Wilma can get him another right answer here. I make sure to eat all my fruits and vegetables. That's what my mother always told me to avoid getting sick. That's what my mother always told me. A survey says, eat a healthy diet. Okay. All right. So 1 left, 2 strikes. It's down to Barney. What can he come up with? Betty has me get up and keep moving to avoid getting sick. All right. Survey says exercise. Okay. Flintstones got it. That was close, but they got it. So avoid sickness. And anyone that joined me last year, a lot of this is a carryover, but exposure. You get sick from getting exposed to illness. The most common way you get illness is your hands. You're putting your hands in places, you're touching things, touching your face, putting these illness to your nose, your mouth, your eyes. That's end up how you're getting sick. If you're sneezing, coughing, cover your mouth, cover your nose, minimize the spread so others can't get it from you, and avoid others who are ill. If you're sick, stay home. If people around you are sick, have them stay home, stay away from you. Avoiding the contact can avoid the illness. And your body's a miraculous thing. It fends off illness all the time. So stay healthy in other ways. Stay active, eat healthy, get enough sleep, do the things you want to do for your body to be in prime time shape to do what it needs to do to fight the illness. Better through foods for nutrition and vitamins than through pills. And so that was the vitamin one as well. So avoid the exposures, wash your hands, stay home, and work on being healthy all the rest of the time. Okay, well, we need another group of contestants here. All right. The supers, they look like an imposing group. Let's see what they have to come up with for us here. So we asked healthcare providers, what is the most important part of healthy weight management, and tallied their responses. What a better group to ask than this, I guess, huh? All right, so we got 7 choices to choose from here for healthy weight. Let's get started here. We got Spider-Man Spidey here. What did he say? Aunt May always tells me to watch the soda and chips. Too much snacking isn't good. That sounds like a teenager. Survey says avoiding empty calories. Okay, yeah, that's a great one for healthy weight management. Okay. All right, let's see what Man of Steel says. Man of Steel says, I always make sure to eat healthy foods, knowing it will help me achieve my goals. That sounds like a public service announcement right there. Healthy survey says eating healthy. Okay, a little lower on the list, but right there. Okay, The Dark Knight. Have a plan. Always have a plan. If that's not words from Batman, I don't know what is. Survey says have a plan. Okay, they're cruising right along here. All right. And we got Wonder Woman here. Let's see what she has to say. It's all about what and how much. Okay, what and how much? Survey says calorie reduction. Okay, yeah, that's top of the list there. Eating less. Okay. All right, we got the Hulk. Let's see. He said eat more. That sounds the opposite of what his teammate just said. Looks like someone's not paying attention. Okay, survey says eating more is the key to. No, it is not. So, all right. Not too hanky there. All right, we got a strike one for the supers. All right, let's see if they can get back on track here. We got Spidey. Spider-Man says exercise. I'm always chasing bad guys. It's hard work. Let's see if that's important. Survey says exercise, bottom of the list there, but that's on there. Okay, exercise. All right, we got 2 more responses. And they got 2 more strikes to go. All right, Superman. Let's see. Man of Steel. Leaping tall buildings. I'm gonna guess not what we're looking for. Survey says leaping tall. No, yeah, that's not. Most of us can't do that. That's not what we're looking for. All right. Batman. Sleep day or night. Get some sleep. Okay. All right. Survey says getting enough sleep is key. All right, and 1 last strike to go and 1 more response. Let's see if one room can bring it home. Drinking plenty of water always helps me avoid being too hungry. Survey says, there it is. Okay. Great. All right. So weight management. So our goal is healthy weight, not a number, but a healthy weight. And you are what you eat. Intake over output. It is more important what you put in your face, what you put in your body, what you eat than what you do. It's not that exercise isn't important, but what you eat is so much more impactful as far as managing weight. It is hard to exercise and burn the calories compared to what you can put in your mouth. So pay attention to intake, remove those things that are not nutritious, that are not helping you in any other way, those empty calories. Eating healthy is important, but it's not equal to eating for weight loss. And this is a kind of a complex concept, but one I'm trying to get across these days, that eating healthy is important, but you can eat a healthy diet and still not lose weight. Eating to lose weight means less calories. And so what we want is that middle ground, healthy foods that allow you to eat less and be happy and healthy for it. So they're not the same, but we want that overlap is what we're looking for. So movement is good, but it plays a small role. Like I said, exercise burns calories, but it's small. You got to work out a lot to have an impact on weight loss. We're talking about 60 minutes a day, 420 minutes a week to have a significant impact on weight loss. That is difficult to do. That's a lot of minutes throughout the week to exercise. That's the duration part. Intensity, actually, this is another thing. So working out hard, having a strenuous workout can help suppress appetite, so you can get by with eating less. Working out mild exercise maybe doesn't impact weight loss. It can sometimes stimulate appetite. So How hard you exercise, how long you exercise can help, but it is less important than what you eat. Weight management, it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. It's having a plan. How are you going to approach this? What's that look like today? What's that look like a week from now? What's that look like a month from now? What's that look like a year from now? There's going to be ups, there's going to be downs. How do you control the downs? How do you have more of those ups? And I don't mean weight, I mean as far as things going as planned. So, and the last nugget there is, hydration, sleep are underestimated. Drinking lots of water slows down your eating. You tend to eat less when you eat slowly. Filling your stomach with water fills your stomach. You tend to eat less food, and so it's important. Drink plenty of water. Sleep. People who don't get enough sleep tend to be stressed, tend to eat more. They make poorer choices in food and eat more calories. And so, if you're working hard on weight loss, make sure you're not ignoring hydration aspect or the sleep aspect. They can play a big role. And these are just a few things that I wanted to bring up. There's way more topics that I wanted to touch on, but hard to do it in a 30-minute time slot here. So, if you have other questions, concerns, or the things you want to talk with a doctor about for your health and well-being, go see your doctor. Ask more questions. These are just a glimpse of things that we can get into for you if needed. And I did want to just mention, me and who we are here at WUCare. We're happy to be your doctor if you need one. If you don't have a doctor to go and ask these questions to, I'm there on the left. In the center is our nurse practitioner, Liz Segura, and then Dr. Maya Rubio on the right. And we are a primary care clinic that takes pride in being accessible and getting in urgently if needed. We're here in the CAM on 5A. You can schedule appointments through the phone number on there, the website at the bottom, or online. And, we're happy to help you out if you're looking for someone to work with and come up with those plans.